know your role. RJF here, Realistic Jets fan. You're going to love this today. RJF has been communicating a little bit with Buffalo Jet fan. You got to hear this guy. This is a flip-flopper. This is somebody who said on the show, and it's live and it's documented, that he wishes that Joe Douglas would be here for another 10 years. I explained to him that sometimes you got to think with your heart and your head. Your heart wants Joe Douglas to be this person, but your head tells you something else. Pay attention to this.
I can't gamble on preseason games. Wolves 55 does the Becton and Zach picks build set this team back. Simple as that in various ways. Yeah, of course. No one would deny that.
Sorry about all this.
Yeah, if Zach Wilson was a franchise quarterback on year 3 on a rookie deal and Mekhi Becton was Tristan Wirfs, we'd be in a better shot, in a better place. But
so basically the person saying that Joe Douglas shit the bed.
What if we took...
Here's a flip-flop.
I don't know. What if we took somebody else instead of Sauce?
What if?
What if we took Treylon Burks or
whatever
instead of Garrett Wilson? What if we signed some other mid-level corner no one was really that high on besides DJ?
What if?
What if we didn't get Bryce Huff?
What
and
if?
Lee Adams is undrafted free.
The flip-flopper.
You're not wrong, but in the path...
It gets worse.
...that Joe Douglas has taken with this roster, to get from expansion level, as
expansion
Robert
level,
put it,
expansion level,
Super Bowl contender,
Super Bowl contender,
the Super Bowl. I think we would all agree with that. You know, they're one of the 10 teams that can legitimately throw their hat in the ring.
One of 10
It
teams.
hasn't been perfect, but man, come on, look at the talent level. Just go depth chart, position by position, from 2019 to now. And I've criticized Joe Douglas.
He hasn't.
You've heard me complaining like the sky is falling on this offensive line.
He hasn't.
But it's not lost on me where we were a couple years ago and where this team is now.
7-9 when he took over.
The reason I'm nitpicking is because I think we have a chance to win the Super Bowl. So
chance to win the Super Bowl.
Joe Douglas has proven himself to be a competent GM.
Oh.
Is he a great GM? I don't know. We'll find out. We're done judging the process. Now it's time to judge the results.
It's not done.
But he clearly knows what he's doing, to some extent.
To some extent. You gotta love it. He ends it with, he clearly knows what he's doing, ... to some extent. He's gone from the savior, now he's competent. Joe Douglas took over a 7-9 team. It's an expansion team. Now he's got the Jets potentially winning a Super Bowl. They haven't been to the playoffs in a record amount of years. Okay. So I corresponded with him today. And I basically tried to school him, try to help him. You know, I am the messiah of reasonable thinking, of realistic thinking. I'm your savior. So let us go see what he says here as I, try to communicate with him. I write to him, Joe Douglas clearly knows what he's doing to an extent. You're shuffling again. And then he goes, good Lord. Heaven forbid I don't use the same exact verbiage every time I speak about Joe D. I said at the very least he's competent. To some extent, we can all agree. So now, to some extent, he's competent. It is my opinion that he will be an excellent GM for the Jets. It's undeniable. He's competent to some extent. Then I go again, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if he basically responded much after that. So the guy, this is why you're sheep. This is why you're sheep. The guy is just shuffling back and forth. Joe D's the savior. Now he's competent to an extent. And this all, again, surfaced from somebody who said, Zach Wilson, Mekhi Becton. He's here to fix those two things. He drafted these two. He shit the bed. And, of course, Buffalo has to shuffle. Blah, 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 blah. But that wasn't it. In the chat in here, and I gotta go find it. He basically then downgrades his Super Bowl thing to a... Where is he? Where are you, Buffalo? I basically say, interesting take. He took a 7-9 team, and then all of a sudden that 7-9 team is an expansion team. That's him, having to basically agree with Robert Salah. He came to fix the offensive and quarterback. He didn't. And I basically say, tell me, Buffalo, who are the Jets going to be ahead of in our own division this year? And then he didn't answer that. And then I basically said, again, I listened to all your shows. You're clearly struggling when it comes to Joe Douglas. And then he basically does say something about the Jets potentially being a playoff team in here. So he gone from the Super Bowl to the playoff team. There's the problem. This is the reason why you're brainwashed, folks. You listen to his shows, you just don't know what side of the bed he's waking up on. Is Joe Douglas to an extent? Super Bowl team. Blah, blah, blah. Super Bowl? Super Bowl? Who are we going to be ahead of? You're basically saying you're going to be better than Buffalo, you're going to be better than Miami, and you're going to be better than New England. 3 teams you have not been better than all these years. And you're going to be better than them because of Aaron Rodgers. That's the only reason, because that's the common denominator. That's why you're relevant. For a quarterback who's the best I've seen, but who's coming off of a subpar season, playing in front of one of the best offensive lines, going to a shit show offensive line. And that's it. Your running back, your number 1 running back is coming off of an ACL. Your number 2 running back is really a third down back and is often brittled with a 3.5 yards per average. Your 3rd string running back is somebody who's been a career practice squad player. And nobody else on the roster has ever taken a rush. Breece Hall has 80 career rushes, 4 career touchdowns, 1 100-yard game, and 1 game where he carried the ball more than 15 times. And he's coming off an ACL. And he's playing in front of one of the worst offensive lines. Your best offensive lineman is 38 years old and on the PUP. Your second best is a first-round draft bust who's already complaining, who can't play more than 7 snaps without taking himself out of the game. Your next probably offensive lineman is coming off of tricep surgery, and you're shuffling him all over the field instead of keeping him at guard, where you want him to be a right tackle when he's potentially an all-pro guard. Your next offensive lineman almost had a career life-threatening injury of a blood clot in his calf and his neck. But we're going to win the Super Bowl. And Joe Douglas is, he went from great to Buffalo to now he's competent to an extent. I'm out.